is grey and Wednesday too. Thursday, I don't care about you. It's Friday, I'm in love. Monday, you can fall apart. Tuesday, Wednesday, break my heart. Oh, Thursday doesn't even start. It's Friday, I'm in love.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Concert Connections. You know my name. My name is Kelly, and with me I have Travis Hyll, and he was born in North Carolina and made his way all the way up to Connecticut, and he is here to entertain you with some country music. So go get your favorite beverage, whether it's a cocktail, a cup of coffee, sit back, relax for the next hour, and check out Travis Hyll.
Every morning I wake up before the sunrise, strap on my boots and wipe the sleep from my eyes, throw on my uniform, hop in my car, sip a coffee and drive an hour to the company yard, load up my truck with cables and tools, complete the latest training on safety and rules. When I get to the job site, you better believe everything must be done before I can leave. When the storm comes, I'm always on call. I'll be there in action when the power lines fall. They're cold in the summer and warm on a winter's night. Think of the linemen that turn darkness to light. My line of work, no one is spared from the sweat drenching heat, the snow and the rain, but the power we bring is nothing compared to the power it takes us to fight through the pain. For carrying the ladder, climbing the poles, I'll retire in 10 years if I don't die first. I'm just glad to come home, sleep in my bed, thank the good Lord for another day. Didn't end up dead. When the storm comes, I'm always on call. Be there in action when the power lines fall. Would you cool in the summer and warm on a winter's night? Think of the linemen that turn darkness to light. When the storm comes, I'm always on call. I'll be there in action when the power lines fall. When you're cool in the summer and warm on a winter's night. Think of the linemen that turn darkness to light. That was a little song of mine I haven't played in a while. It's called the Lineman Song, about my experience as a line worker before back in North Carolina. And it's one of those things that you just don't think about, but your electricity and your internet, telephone, and all of that. People out there working really hard to make that happen. Anytime there's a storm and things like that, new people that fell off telephone poles and broke their shoulders and all kinds of stuff that was happening just to try to get service back for people. So this is a song I wrote about my wife. It's all about finding the right person and holding on to them through thick and thin and all the hell that life throws at you. And this person will, keep you together when you're falling apart or just give you something to hold on to. There's a song called This Gold Ring. I've known my share of partners, and I've seen all the ways they can be. Drove some away and some left on their own, but none of them did it for me. Well, I've known the depths of depression, the darkness of being alone. And I've roamed the streets at all hours of the night. Lord, I'm grateful that I made it home. But I met a woman who saved me, who cared for me when no one else did. She helped make me into a responsible man, and she made me smile like a kid. We have an unbreakable bond, standing test after test of time. That doesn't mean that it doesn't hurt when I get a piece of her mind. I wear this gold ring on my finger, and it reminds me every day of the freedom I lost for the love that I gained. Together in happiness and dismay. Her love's like an ocean. If I stay too long, I'll drown. Her love's like the gravity, it binds me to earth, comfortably holding me down. Without her, I drift like a nomad, life neither here nor there. Making friends at the bar and playing guitar, no one would actually care. We all have our ups and downs, yeah, we bear both smiles and frowns. This married life can be so full of strife, but it sure beats being lonely in town. And I know that I'll die right beside her, that's the only way I want to go. When I'm in heaven, I'll wait for her there, watching the green gardens grow. I wear this gold ring on my finger, and it reminds me every day of the freedom I lost for the love that I gained. Together in happiness and dismay. This is a Randy Travis tune I always like to sing. Back in North Carolina for 2 years, on and off, I played in a band with his brother, Ricky Trawick, and at some points it was his nephew as well on the drums. And we played in Marshville, which is their hometown where they all grew up in, and got to meet Randy and Randy's wife and a lot of the people that they grew up with. And Mayor came out and gave Randy the key to the city, so that was one of the most memorable performances I've done. And on top of that, this one here too. So thank you very much for having me. This is a beautiful studio. Here's a little Randy Travis tune. You may think that I'm talking foolish. You've heard that I'm wild and I'm free. You may wonder how I can promise you now this love that I feel for you always will be. You're not just time that I'm killing. I'm no longer one of those guys. Sure as I live, this love that I give is gonna be yours until the day that I die. Oh baby, I'm gonna love you forever, forever and ever, amen. As long as old men sat and talked about the weather, as long as old women sat and talked about old men. If you wonder how long I'll be faithful, I'll be happy to tell you again. I'm gonna love you forever and ever, forever and ever, amen. See, time takes its toll on the body, makes a young girl's brown hair turn gray. Honey, I don't care, I ain't in love with your hair, and if it all fell out, well, I'd love you anyway. They say time can play tricks on memory, makes people forgetting things they knew. Well, it's easy to see, it's happening to me. I've already forgotten every woman but you. Oh, darling, I'm gonna love you forever, forever and ever, amen. As long as old men sat and talked about the weather, as long as old women sat and talked about old men. If you wonder how long I'll be faithful, just listen to how this song ends. I'm gonna love you forever and ever, forever and ever, amen. I'm gonna love you forever and ever, forever and ever, forever and ever, forever and ever, amen. All right, this is an original song I wrote. It hasn't been released yet, but it has been copyrighted. So this is a little drinking song, kind of inspired by some George Jones and George Strait and kind of old school country stuff. This is a song called Another Drink or Two. Sitting on my own again, Thinking about what could have been, thinking about what should have been, and all that's passed away. Dwelling on the past again, like I'm searching for a long-lost friend. All good things must come to an end as darkness takes another day. Every time I start to think, maybe just another drink or two will help me wash away the memory of you. Feeling like my hands are tied, knowing if I'd only lied, if I'd learned how to decide, maybe it'd still be here today. Wish I could have been so strong to make the choice right over wrong. Reckon I knew better all along, but I turned the other way. Every time I start to think, maybe just another drink or two will help me wash away the memory of you. Sitting on my own again, thinking about what could have been, thinking about what should have been, and all that's passed away. Dwelling on the past again, like I'm searching for a long-lost friend. All good things must come to an end as darkness takes another day. Every time I start to think, maybe just another drink or two will help me wash away the memory of you. Every time I start to think, maybe just another drink or two will help me wash away the memory of you. Help me wash away the memory of you. All right, this next one is a song that I wrote about the experience of moving across the country from North Carolina up here to Connecticut. My wife and I just needed to buy a house, and we love this area. We got married in New Hampshire, and just decided that this was the part of the country we wanted to live in. So we found a nice house in eastern Connecticut that I could afford on one income for a while. And yeah, that's what led us up here. So, but the first 6 months or so, it was really hard to make friends. I made a lot of friends, but it just didn't work out. You know, I played in different bands and stuff, and eventually decided to focus back on my own solo career, if you will, or career, hobby, whatever. And it's paid off, you know, tremendously now. I've met so many great people. I've played at over 80 venues across southern New England alone at this point since 2023, and have this opportunity of playing here. So, yeah, but this is about that feeling of the first while of trying to, you know, get your roots in the ground, trying to find your new place in life. So it's called 395. Driving down 395, and the snow is on the ground. All's quiet in the quiet corner, another winter's day. I've been lost for a long time. This is the home that I found. There's still so much on my mind, so much I need to say. God keeps putting me through hell, but hell's become my comfort zone. I don't know any other way. More trials and tribulations, letdowns and frustrations again. I won't quit fighting, but I feel I'll never win. Yeah. The days are starting to bleed together. I'm getting used to the cold. If you wanna put down roots here, well, you gotta break some stones. It's hard to welcome something new when everything you know is old. It's hard to think about the future when you're truly on your own. Yeah. God keeps putting me through hell, but hell's become my comfort zone. I don't know any other way. More trials and tribulations, letdowns and frustrations again. I won't quit fighting, but I feel I'll never win. So God keeps putting me through hell, but hell's become my comfort zone. I don't know any other way. More trials and tribulations, letdowns and frustrations again. I won't quit fighting, but I feel I'll never win. Yeah. Driving down 395, and the snow is on the ground. All's quiet in the quiet corner, another winter's day. This is a little John Anderson tune about down in Florida. So people tend to like this one. Ever since the days of old, men will search for wealth untold. They'd dig for silver and for gold, and they'd live the empty holes. Way down south in the Everglades, where the black water rolls and the sawgrass sways, the eagles fly and the otters play, the land of the Seminole. So blow, blow, Seminole wind, blow like you're never gonna blow again. Calling to you like a long lost friend, well, I know who you are. Blow, blow from the Okeechobee all the way out to Micanopy. Blow across the home of the Seminole, the alligators and the gone. Progress came and took its toll, and in the name of flood control, they made their plans and drained the land. Now the glades are going dry. Last time I walked in the swamp and sat upon the cypress stump, listen, I heard the ghost of Osceola cry. Blow, blow, Seminole wind, blow like you're never gonna blow again. Calling to you like a long lost friend, well, I know who you are. Blow, blow from the Okeechobee all the way up to Micanopy. Blow across the home of the Seminole, the alligator and the gone. All right, this is a song that I wrote that is about trying to get away from everybody. Try to get to, hold on, let me start that again, I'm sorry. Okay. This is a song I wrote about trying to get away from everybody. That feeling you get if you go to Walmart on a busy day and you're surrounded by everybody. Everything is chaos and you just want to go home. So whatever it is that you like to do, whether it's a bubble bath and a glass of wine or smoking a cigar, I don't know. For me, I like to occasionally sip a little whiskey and just look out the window at the trees and just enjoy that time alone. So this song is called Whiskey and Solitude. Seems like the world's gone crazy. Seems half the world's gone blind. They can't even tell right from wrong. They damn near lost their mind. When left is up and down is right, Lord, take me on back home. 'Cause I just need another night of being left the hell alone. So get me away from the city and put me out in the sticks. 'Cause there's nothing a little whiskey and solitude can't fix. That's right, just give me my whiskey and solitude. But I was born and raised in the southern ways of working hard and living right. doing your duty, obeying the law, praying to God at night. Well, I ain't perfect, Lord surely knows, but I'm glad I'm not like them. Wicked souls just a falling apart, engulfing their lives in sin. So get me away from the city and put me out in the sticks, 'cause there's nothing a little whiskey and solitude can't fix. That's right, just give me my whiskey and solitude. About the future, and I ponder about the past. Sometimes I even ask myself, how long will it last? Well, I work myself to the bone, and often I don't sleep. Lord, I pray that when I pass away, my soul will rest in peace. So get me away from the city and put me out in the sticks, 'cause there's nothing a little whiskey and solitude can't fix. That's right, just give me my whiskey and solitude. I might make some money in the city, but they'll bury me out in the sticks. Well, there's nothing a little whiskey and solitude can't fix. That's right, just give me my whiskey and solitude. Lord knows I need my whiskey and solitude. All right, here's a little Eric Church tune for you, a little Western North Carolina musician. A lot of y'all have probably heard of him. Early Monday morning, Friday at 5, man, I work, but I don't climb. Boss man can shove out overtime up his can. All I wanna do is put a drink in my hand. Fill it up and throw it down. Got a 40-hour week worth of troubles to drown. No need to complicate it, I'm a simple man. All you got to do is put a drink in my hand. Yeah, the parking lot is muddy, can't get to the door. I take my jacked up, drop it down in 4x4. Chill down a long neck, warm up the band. All you wanna do is put a drink in my hand. Fill it up, throw it down. I'm about to tear a new one to this old town. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well, I'm a rocket man. All you got to do is put a drink in my hand. Make me wanna go ooh, 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 when you dance like that. You got that little tattoo playing peekaboo on your back. Now if you wanna impress me, baby, here's my plan. All you got to do is put a drink in my hand. Fill it up, throw it down. Drive me home, take the long way round. You be my Lois Lane, I'll be your Superman. All you got to do is put a drink in my head. Monday morning, that alarm clock sings. It goes bang, 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 while it rings, rings, rings. Yeah, I'm ready to go if you wanna rock again. All you got to do is put a drink in my hand. You fill it up, throw it down. Got a little hungover, well, I'm still hanging around. Yeah, that hair the dog is howling. Hey there, man. All you got to do is put a drink in my hand. Yeah, that hair the dog is howling. Hey there, man. All you got to do is put a drink in my hand. This is a song about a song I wrote a couple of years ago. It's about trying to climb the company ladder, and the ladder gets pulled out from underneath you, and you got to start all over again somewhere else. Start a job. Yeah, it's a rough thing I've been through several times, and I'm sure most people out there around the world have as well. But this is a song called "Company Man." If you like it, you can find it online. I'm a good old worker, yes, I'm a company man. When it comes to moving forward, I'll do anything I can. Yeah, you best just step aside, 'cause I'm a company man. When it comes to making money, I always do what I'm told, and every one of my waking hours, you know I've already sold. Lord knows you've got to earn that silver before you get the gold. I'm a good old worker, yes, I'm a company man. When it comes to moving forward, I'll do anything I can. Yeah, you best just step aside, 'cause I'm a company man. Over these past few weeks, I've seen productions moving slow. Boss said their stocks are a-falling, so they have to let me go. 13 years down the drain, now I've got nothing left to show. That's what I get. I'm a good old worker, yes, I'm a company man. When it comes to moving forward, I'll do anything I can. Yeah, you best just step aside, 'cause I'm a company man. Well, I guess I'm moving forward with my talent and my pride. I'll go find another company, and there I'll hit my stride. I know that loyalty's a virtue to your God and your wife, but never let no business take control of your life. I'm a good old worker, yes, I'm a company man. When it comes to moving forward, I'll do anything I can. Yeah, you best just step aside, 'cause I'm a company man.
Hello and welcome back. I'm sitting here with Travis Hyll, who was born in North Carolina, made his way all the way up here to Connecticut to make his living playing country music for you all folks, and he has played all over the area. Thank you for coming all the distance to here to Concert Connections, Travis. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're born in Western North Carolina, and is that when you actually started playing music?
Yeah, when I was a child, my grandmother played piano, and she tried like hell to get me to play it, but I couldn't stretch my fingers to do the octaves and all that stuff. And I watched her and listened to her and enjoyed it. And my dad played guitar. My other grandmother sang at church in the choir, and her dad, who passed before I ever met him, apparently played banjo. And it was a musical family, you could say. So I grew up with it. And at one point, about 10 or 11 years old, I just asked my dad, you know, can I see your bass, can I see your guitar and stuff, and he just kind of handed it over, and I started playing on them and never stopped.
So it just came natural for you.
Yeah.
And it's pretty cool because everybody that I do interview, everybody comes from a musical family. You know, it seems to be part of the norm for becoming a musician these days. So from North Carolina, what brought you here to Connecticut? When did that all happen?
Yeah, I mean, it's a kind of a long story, but my wife and I were in the market for a house that could be afforded on one income, and we were living in Raleigh at the time in an old rental house, a little beat up house, but it was a nice area. It was right next to Cary, and in 5 years or so time, you know, we watched the place become so populated, so many people, so busy, so congested, and its infrastructure wasn't developed for that. So houses were going for $700,000, stuff like that. Just no way I could afford to buy a home there. So we got married in New England, and we love it up here. It's a beautiful place, and just looked for a place in New England that was affordable. In Eastern Connecticut, we came look at 6 houses, and the first one we looked at was the one that we liked. So yeah, so that was it.
Well, congratulations
deal,
on making that move. What year was that?
So we came here in February 2023.
Okay, so you haven't been here too long, but you're doing quite well for yourself from what I see. You know, like you've played how many venues thus far here in Connecticut in just that short time?
It's over 80 now. I'd have to go back and count how many over 80, but definitely over 80 at this point. So grateful for that, for sure.
Well, I'm glad to hear that you're doing it. And I think you're not going to take no for an answer. You're just going to keep plugging away, and you're making a living as a country act here in New England. I was going to say New London. New England.
New London County is a large percentage of those gigs and those venues. This area is extraordinary in the fact that one weekend a couple of years ago, I looked at a local concert calendar and saw that there were 36 live music events in the county on one weekend, which is extraordinary. You know, Wake County, North Carolina, where we came from, is 5 times the population density. You might have had 12, 15 live music events in a weekend. So it's incredible how much there's strong support for arts and live music in this local area. You know, it's extraordinary like that.
Yeah, now I remember in my reading that you said there was a transplant from Florida that moved up here to New England.
He was from Connecticut and moved to Florida.
Oh, that's how it worked.
Yeah.
And then you said you aren't going to make it doing country.
Yeah,
and everybody loves country here.
That's what I'm saying. I was in shock myself when I came up here and saw how much people loved it, because I played country down south, but I played in a lot of different kinds of bands. At one point, I was the bass player in like an otherwise all-black funk R&B project, which that was a lot of fun because I love that slap bass stuff. Yeah,
like up my alley too.
It was amazing, and I've played in rock, you know, classic rock bands, metal bands, all kinds of stuff. And but when I come up here and talk to people and played shows and did variety stuff, they're like, "Can you cover this country artist? Can you cover this song?" And it kind of just pushed me into focus on country more than I ever had because it was so popular up here.
And it is.
Yeah.
And I believe it's probably the most popular music right now in our country thus far. Now, you've opened for a lot of country acts you were saying that were really well known. Can you name a few of those for me?
The biggest act that I shared the stage with was Randy Travis, and I played in a band with his brother, and his nephew was on drums for a couple of the shows for a couple of years in North Carolina. Up here, I played at Indian Ranch
last year with Alex Lambert. He was on American Idol, I believe it was, and he's a successful artist in his own right. And also Flatland Cavalry. They're more of a traditional country band out of Texas. That they're on. I don't remember the label right now. I'm Arista or Interscope or something, but they're a major label artist, and those are the most famous ones. Back in my metalhead days, there was a bunch of unheard of bands that I played shows with, but were also signed artists and things. So it's always a pleasure when you can play an event like that, and this crowd is there. That you get that opportunity to be seen by. It's a real reward to do that.
Well, congratulations on getting to the ranch, because they're not an easy booking to get. I know a lot of people that have been waiting a couple decades
oh my gosh.
to play there, but they're more rock and roll and more cover-ish.
Yeah,
they're just not getting in there.
I've seen a list of some of the country artists that have played there. It's just a who's who list, really. It's insane how many people have played that stage. So that was cool, and I hope to play many more places here. And what I really like too is when you build a relationship with a place where they'll book you several times throughout the year. Like, we know this guy's going to do a good job, and so that's a nice thing as well. It's not all about the big shows and the big stages.
Right.
It's about the relationships with the people, and. So I love that. It's so much more in my comfort zone to show up to a small place and just have my little corner and set up and just have that control and be able to play for 3 hours, whatever you want. And when it's a shorter set in a big stage, it's so much more nerve-wracking, But it's amazing in a different way,
I can. So you like the smaller clubs, but you like the big clubs, obviously, because they must pay.
Oh well, not necessarily. There's a lot of give and take. Sometimes the bigger the opportunity, it's not very financially lucrative, but you get the crowds and stuff. And sometimes it's like just a little house party that would be so lucrative to play as a musician. There's always variables. You have to be flexible with that kind of thing.
I love house parties with good musicians.
Yeah. Those are really
that's
memorable.
Always fun. Now, growing up, who were your influences? Who influenced you the most?
My dad had a lot of records that he would play. He played Black Sabbath, Boston, Stevie Ray Vaughan. That was like the soundtrack. Guns N' Roses, that Use Your Illusion had come out like around the time I was born. So he played that a lot. And country music, Hank Williams Jr., definitely Randy Travis, because he was from North Carolina, so it was just one of those artists everybody knew. But my dad played a lot of Hank Williams and Johnny Cash and things, and on his guitar he would play Johnny Cash songs quite a bit. And that really what got me into guitar, though. I was listening to a lot of metal bands at the time that were popular, and the techniques from playing that stuff kind of evolved into me playing like Celtic type music, and then later on I learned to do the bends and was able to do the country stuff.
Right.
I'm not an expert at it, but I learned different styles over the years. So it started with more of a rock and country, and then rock and metal. As I got older, I appreciated country music more. It reminded me of my grandparents and growing up where I was and the roots to the region and everything. So.
Well, I'm glad you're playing the genre of music you most like now. I saw a video that blew me away that you didn't think people really liked, and it was you playing the djembe drums. And I can't remember the name of the type of guitar you were playing. It's a guitar that Richie Blackmore plays a lot.
It might have been the oud.
It's got the rounded back.
Yeah, that's the oud. That was an Arabic oud.
You
Turkish
blew us
oud.
away.
Turkish oud, yeah.
You really did. You were
Thank
fabulous.
Yeah, thanks. I always like to play fretless instruments because there's this like organic feel to it when you can slide to the notes. It's more like the human voice or something, and the range of notes on an oud is kind of like that in a way. It's like a voice, but it's basically the fretless like ancestor of the guitar. Before it was lute, then it was the oud, and you can look that history up, anybody that's interested in that. But they still play this instrument in the Middle East and the Mediterranean, and yeah, it was just cool to me. I thought it sounded cool, and I wanted to dabble on one, so I got some cheap one online and
Yeah,
tried to teach myself to play it.
because we're big on the drum circles and world
Oh, yeah.
music. We love all music. Of course, we have our favorite music, of course, but our tastes are various because we've traveled the world.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
happy to say,
That's awesome.
and just to hear the different cultural music, I don't know, it's pretty special, you know. So thank you for doing that because you did a really great job. I
Thank
just
you.
wanted to tell you that
Thank
again.
you very much.
You know?
Yeah, I love how music and food or anything from different cultures can really transport you to those places. You know, my wife and I had eaten at so many different ethnic restaurants and things around the country here, and then when we got a chance to travel to Asia earlier this year, you know, it really just primes you for the experience, and then you can kind of take notes on, oh, what's the difference between the way they make it in America compared to the actual original version. Sometimes you don't like the original version as much as you do the American version, you know. It's
It's
not
so
always
true.
better. A lot of people have that mentality, like it's always better somewhere else, but it's not necessarily the case, I can say. It's all about your own taste and what you like, but yeah, those things can really transport you. I like to go to concerts of different traditional music, and we went and saw a Korean band at what was like a band, like a drum line kind of a thing in Boston at the museum there one day, and that was a cool experience. So, yeah, I love world music too. I even played in a Middle Eastern ensemble before in Raleigh many
Wow.
years ago, doing hand percussion for that. I had the DAF, which is like a big frame drum with like looks almost like chainmail links that hang inside it.
Oh wow,
Just kind of like a giant tambourine.
that
And,
sounds like so cool.
it was fun, yeah, and a lot of hippie drum circle jams up in Asheville, and you know,
I
with
just
my
love
friends
all
in North
that.
Carolina. Yeah, I've, a lot of my friends, I guess you could say, growing up, were like what you call like deadnicks, or so they're like the Grateful Dead fans, and they also liked bluegrass and played fiddle and mandolin and stuff. So
See, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like we're in Connecticut, and everybody likes pretty much everything. You know, there's no specific genre of music that does better here. Although I do have to say, country is just really hot right now.
it's hot right now.
you
Yeah.
know, it's really hot. You know, even
Some of
more
it's-
than rock and roll.
Some of it's not really country, if you've asked me, but
like
you
the
know,
bluegrass.
some of it is like a band that does, you know, top 40 pop songs. It throws a few country songs in and says they're country, you know. It's just, I don't know.
I have to say, I'm not a big pop person.
Yeah,
You know,
it all has its place, you know.
yeah. You know, I get it. You know, sometimes put on that pop song, play that pop song to get people on the dance floor or whatever.
Yeah,
you
it's good
know,
at dance music for
that's-
sure.
That's about it. So, any shows coming up that you can
Oh,
talk
Lord.
about?
You catch me off guard. I don't know my calendar right now.
Well,
I know-
today's the 12th, and Friday, 12th, 13th, 14th, so on the 15th, 16th, 17th. Anything coming up this weekend?
None this weekend, but I believe it's next Friday, the 20-something. You can check on my calendar at travishill.com. There's a performance I have scheduled at the Mystic Seaport Museum,
Okay.
which that's really beautiful place.
It is.
I mean, that's like a world-class destination, if you ask me. Like, you know, you can spend all day there looking at the boats and the, you know, all the different equipment that they've used to repair them and historic stuff there. It's a really beautiful waterfront area. If I'm sure everybody watching this is well aware of that place, but
Yeah, everybody, I would say, here that's in the viewing area definitely has spent a lot of time in Mystic. It's one of the most charming places that we have, that in North Stonington.
yeah.
And I could just go on and on. As you know, Connecticut is just quite
It's
beautiful
beautiful.
place.
Yeah, I love the small towns here like that. The peaceful small towns. That's one of the main reasons that we moved up here. You know, it's amazing to me that you can go like in 395 area and Windham County. You can go shopping and it's like hardly anybody at these places. It's just so peaceful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Neat and orderly, and people are nice and decent, and yeah.
I don't
Very
think people here in Connecticut realize what we have. You know,
That's right.
They complain about the taxes. They complain a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and they really don't know the lifestyle in other states.
Yeah.
I'm figuring because they wouldn't be complaining so much.
It's-
You don't know what
yeah.
you got till it's gone.
That's
you
right.
know?
That's why I love to see people just really maintain the charm and the history and the quality of life of this place, because it, there's very few places in our country that have such old architecture, so much history. It's as they say, it's a fairly new country, but this is like the oldest part, really. If you look at 1600 structures still standing there, and where I grew up, it was the oldest building in Salisbury, I believe, was from like 1812. So like 170-year difference between the oldest architecture here. So, and it still stands. People still maintain it, and take care of it, and live in it up here. It's really cool. I used to watch This Old House a lot growing up.
I love This Old House.
And then I moved here, and it's like, oh, we're there. That's what's cool.
Well, gosh, Norwich has tons of beautiful architecture and the old cemeteries from the 1600s. And so we've got it all. But
absolutely, I love it there.
What would you like to see happen from this point? I'm not going to talk about 5 years, just like your immediate future. Where would you like to see this all go?
Well, at this point, I have several very talented musicians that are learning the set list that I have. So my goal is from August and beyond to be able to play full band shows. So I'm beginning to reach out to people that might be able to help booking with that. I really want to. My goal, if this country bubble keeps booming and everything, I want to really be seen as the most authentic country act in the region. Because of my background, like my dad was from Fort Worth, Texas, and literally wore cowboy boots like most of his life, and he had that that flat Southern accent from there, which is a big influence on me, and played guitar and sang those old songs and stuff. And other side of the family, that Western North Carolina, Southern gospel and old time music and all of that culture. It's legitimately like what I come from. So it goes into the way I write, the way I sing, even if I don't try. It's just there.
You.
Yeah. And so I'm not like cosplaying as a country person. That's actually my life and my culture. And I think people appreciate that. There's times I've had people come up to me and say, like, I sang a Waylon Jennings song, and they're like in tears, like, that's the closest I'll ever have the chance to hear. Yeah. Things like that. And I was like, wow, that was really cool. So I hope that grows, just a respect and appreciation for the fact that I'm doing it in a way that kind of honors the tradition. And that's the main thing. Just do it justice and be authentic.
Well, you are. You're very organic and got a beautiful soul.
Thank you.
And you got a great voice, great talent.
Thank you very much.
And I'm sure you're going to go places.
Thank you.
I thank you for coming on here and traveling all the way here to Norwich.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Any last words that you'd like to say? Anybody you'd like to thank besides our maker?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank God for the opportunity to be alive every day and to have the chance to do things like this. It's amazing. And thank you very much for hosting the musicians that you do and giving them opportunity to be seen. And for the viewers out there, make sure you keep tuning in and show support for the artists around here that are really pouring their heart and soul into what they're doing. And you can make the difference between somebody being inspired to keep going or not, by just showing them that support. So, yeah, that's it.
Well, thank you again. And we'll conclude this interview. And I usually have everybody throw up the horns. I think you know what these are.
Oh, yeah, like Ronnie James Dio.
Yes.
Okay.
And until next week, long live rock and roll. Ah!